This is Scott from KIG. It's April 4th, 2019, and today we're going to do a runoff on this 2012 Cold Shot 7.5 ton air-cooled chiller. We've been going through a few things on this recently and tidying some things up, fixing some insulation, something on wiring. We replaced some internals on the controller, but other than that, everything was pretty good on this unit. We've been running it for about 3 or 4 days and getting it ready to ship out to the customer. This is the Cold Shot Model ACWC-090, and it has a 1.5 horsepower glycol pump. It's 208 230 volt 3-phase, and it uses our 410A refrigerant. We've actually just been letting the tank heat up, and actually heated up to 78 or 79, and we have the set point right now at 75. We can actually, on this unit here, bring the temperature down to about 44 degrees on this unit, and it's just a matter of using the up or the down arrow. Just press the down arrow here. 44, which is the lowest set point on this particular unit. So actually, while I was talking, it actually just kicked in. So right now the scroll compressor is running. This is an outdoor rated unit. It does have a heater band on the compressor, so you do want to keep that heater band on at all times, which basically means as long as you have live power going into the chiller. Up here in the control section, or the electrical section, that heater band will be on. So that's our scroll compressor. We have all the covers on the unit, the lid, side covers. We touched up a little bit of paint. This here is the low ambient fan speed control, which allows this unit to be run outside. On a chiller like this, the fan does not always have to be running when the compressor is running. Get our ladder here. For example, right now it's just running at a very slow speed based on the conditions that are in the shop. While we're up here, notice this terminal strip here. We have that jumper. That should stay in there unless you want to have a remote on-off start. And that's terminals 1 and 2. What we see here, this Johnson Controls controller, that's actually a thermostat for the low ambient. That's not a freeze stat. So that is already preset for outdoor operating conditions. You do not need to adjust that. You're going to bring power into the chiller from that hole there up into the electrical area where we made the contacts there. It is a 3-phase unit, of course, so when you are doing your initial setup, you should check the phase rotation by looking at the rear of the pump and just toggling when it's in the off position, by just having somebody look at the rear of the pump and just toggling the pump briefly. We should be able to see that the pump is rotating clockwise when looking at the rear. And with a flashlight or just looking in, you'll be able to see when you toggle it, the windings or part of the motor rotating there at the rear of the pump. We have the tank about half full right now. You should always run it full. If this is going outdoors where it is in the colder climate, you should be running 45% glycol solution. Like I said, we do have the lid there. Here's the fill port if you want to fill the glycol solution in from there. The unit does have a flow switch, and in all these we take them apart, lubricate and make sure the flow switch is working okay. If we don't see flow, the unit will shut down. The pump draws from the tank and then goes out to the process, and we just have a loop set up here, throttling it back a little bit. On the return, there's a bypass valve here, and we ship that open a little bit. Depending what your process is, if you have multiple machines or a machine that has a solenoid valve on it, and that valve closes such that there's no flow going out to the process, that bypass just needs to be opened enough so that there's enough flow going back to the chiller that that flow switch is made. I'm going to come back to video number 2 in a second as we get closer to our set point here.